Yo, Rob, I got another case for you. There's this woman, Denims, who's been up to some pretty suspicious activity lately. She just defended a known scammer, placed a bounty on someone's head, and worst of all, she's a Twitch streamer.
God made the mistake of making me opinionated as a woman? Listen, I'll up the number, okay? 30K to anyone who'll make this dip disappear. To be honest, the video itself, I don't care about. It's not relevant, it's not important. I only care about the thumbnail. You have to be able to read anything and not give a fuck, not care, okay?
Welcome back to Idiot Influencers. Today I'll be diving deeper into the tale of Denims, a member of the Poggers community I heavily mentioned in my last video. Denims is a self-proclaimed, largest female political streamer on Twitch. She's been involved in loads of controversies, which haven't really been well documented on YouTube. She's said some insane stuff over the years, and would probably be considered a full-blown lolcow if not for Hasan Piker's audience. That might sound far-fetched, but here I'll properly explain why that's the case. This is the unhinged story of Denims, the female Hasan. Denims first grew to prominence online in mid-2019 due to her association of Destiny. Destiny is a more political streamer who discusses topics from a more liberal and progressive viewpoint. Denims would slowly but surely make herself known in Destiny's community, and would eventually meet him in person at that year's TwitchCon. This sparked drama between them and a few other Destiny orbiters like Iman, Katarino, and Atlaskew, with Destiny's wife at the time, Melina, being censored in a lot of it. Now I won't be going too deep into this drama, as Destiny himself has described it as one big misunderstanding, but it's important to mention, as it shows that even early on in her online career, Denims is a snake. Basically on the first night, Iman got really drunk and caused a scene in their hotel. Over the next few days, Melina and Iman would go back and forth from getting along to hitting each other, which caused needless conflict. Denims was going to stay with Atlas at his apartment after the convention, but Destiny mentioned she could stay at his place if needed. He wasn't aware of what the relationship was like, and wanted to give Denims a backup plan. Destiny, Melina, and Katarino would then find the two at Destiny's apartment in his bedroom, which weirded him out.
And so, at this point, there's a lot of very strange things going through my head right now, okay? Namely, the idea that, I'm incredibly uncomfortable that, and I don't know if this person would do anything, but the idea that a fan of mine was in my house for a whole day. Now that figure is contested. Okay, other people say he wasn't there for a whole day, he just came and left or whatever. Around my unlocked computer, actually is the worst infosec mishap I think I've ever had in my entire life. I don't know if I have ever had this problem happen in my entire life. I'm actually so insanely upset that situation occurred for a full 24 hours.
They stayed there for a while, and Denims made up multiple different stories to explain what they did before the trio showed up. The situation escalated when Iman sent a Discord message to Destiny, asking if Katarino and Denims slept over that night. Iman wanted to sleep over as well, so Destiny, Melina, and Katarino decided to have a meeting about this. Iman, Denims, and Atlas walked into the apartment uninvited during the meeting, which made the others furious.
And then, unfortunately, because I have to talk to these people after that debate, I have my 8,000 viewers that I say goodbye to, and I close it, and I turn, and I have a long conversation with Iman and Denims, and I basically tell them, hey, this shit has gotten out of fucking control. Holy shit, this is so crazy. I think that I would be comfortable, I think I said we were going to have another talk tonight with Melina, but I basically laid out this is everything that happened. None of this is okay. This is really fucked. This is all a big problem. And we'll talk about it tonight with Melina.
Not too long after, Destiny talked about it on stream, which is where this information comes from. This made Denims release a Google Doc about the situation, where she tries to downplay it, though she admits that going into Destiny's apartment so casually was weird. She also attached this really dumb meme video.
I'll fucking come anywhere I want. I'll fucking come on these walls. I'll come on the fucking cabinets, on the fucking furniture. I'll come everywhere.
If I see your dick one more time, I'm gonna fucking shoot it off.
You don't have enough bullets, bitch.
This would lead to a back and forth between Denims and Destiny, with the former accusing Destiny and Melina of trying to get sexually involved with Katarino. This was disproved by Iman during the leaked discussion, which made Denims seem like a massive liar. Much of this drama is super confusing because Denims made up multiple different stories to try and come out on top. Also, much of the Twitch VODs relating to it are lost. What we do have is a brief transcript, where Denims admits to lying and apologizes to Destiny for trying to cause conflict between him and Melina. To distract people from this, Denims threatened to leak private chat logs where Destiny uses the gamer word. Destiny responded with, "Whatever, I say it in private all the time." Based? Denims leaked 2 videos anyways, which were posted to the livestream fails subreddit, eventually becoming more drama. Denims and Destiny are still rivals to this day, with the former constantly shit-talking him in private, though at the same time, she'd go on to copy his website design. Since Denims can't survive on her own as a streamer, she decided to latch herself onto another big name in the leftist political sphere. Enter Hasan Piker. Denims is basically a waiting room streamer, entertaining Hasan Piker fans before he begins his streams. Her career is pretty much modeled after him, constantly spouting the same stupid takes and offending him and any other associates. The two are part of a bigger streaming community known as the Poggers community, which is basically the Hollywood of online content creators. They're vain, rely on parasocial fans, have their own award show, and even get into sexual abuse scandals just like the real Hollywood. Recently, Denims has become the target of criticism, even from certain members of the Poggers community like Asmongold. In April of this year, Grum started this worthless campaign for various characters in the game Stellar Blade to be uncensored, as before release they were made to be less revealing. Someone going by Tone Man made the following tweet in response to this: $20,000 for anyone that can make this dipshit disappear. While reacting to Asmongold's reaction to this, Denims said this:
Listen, I'll up the number, okay? 30K to anyone who'll make this dipshit disappear and make Eve's breasts bigger. Okay, you have to do both. All right? Because then it's a win-win for me. I get more breast, and I don't have to see that moron on my timeline anymore. So if you think about it.
Now many misconstrued this as her attacking Asmon, but really this was directed at Grums. Now this is obviously a joke, but it came off as distasteful to many. I think it's dumb because if someone made the same statements towards her, she threw a hissy fit. Despite many wanting her banned from Twitch for this, she never did. This is probably because of her association of Hasan, who always says crazy shit.
America deserved 9/11, dude. Fuck it, I'm saying it.
We're there to partner with them. We're not there doing our own thing. We're there partnering and training
in a video
and
game.
Equipping and enhancing their capabilities.
Speaking of 9/11, let's go over the time she did get banned. On November 17th, 2023, Denims streamed herself reading Osama bin Laden's manifesto, where she flat out defends him and tries justifying the September 11th attacks. That same day, Destiny would react to it, which is the only archive of her stream that I know of. One of his big criticisms is her being safe edgy.
Listen, man. The whole, like, ignoring, you know, Palestinian Jewish people and, like, pretending like this is the Jews situation, disavow. America deserved 9/11. I can't disavow facts, man.
I'm just, the only thing that makes me so fucking salty is just, it's the corporate safe edginess. I hate corporate safe edginess. Like, all the Nazi people should be allowed on Twitch, 100%, if you're allowed to say stuff like this. It should. That's like the only, there is no possible TOS or community guidelines that you could discuss, or I'm sorry, that you could establish if you don't have, that would allow for speech like this and not Nazis. Like, Nazis should just be allowed on Twitch. This is wild.
Denims will gladly make statements validating the deaths of thousands of innocent people, yet will get pissed off about lighthearted jokes Froggy Fresh made about sex workers.
I don't know if they're giving, I think they give away like OnlyFans girls there at these events. I don't know what kind of sponsorships going on. Like, if you win certain fights, I think you get to own some of these girls for some of the nights.
Awesome.
I don't know how it works, but I think Chris was like he had plans to go beat up a nerd and whatever, however they get to like lease one of these girls. And so like he got there. Well, Ian was probably thinking like, because I think man, I need to just stop.
This is so weird. Mike by the Ocean, thank you for the 5 gift subs. Thank you so much.
All this
This is so weird.
No, Froggy.
She basically spends the rest of the stream justifying certain things Osama said and blatantly ignoring clear-cut cases of homophobia.
Yeah, dude, okay, I swear to God, I've never read this before. The fact that the next sentence is talking about homosexuality and intoxicants, bro.
Oh, she doesn't even know. She hasn't read this whole letter before. She thought it was just going to be a based, like, shitting on of America. Did she forget who Osama bin Laden or Al-Qaeda was? Is she on some fucking white girl retard, like it's all Al-Qaeda or Al-Qaeda freedom fighter shit? Like,
all right, we call to all of you, we call you to all of this, that you may be freed from that which you have become caught up in, that you may be freed from the deceptive lies, that you are a great nation, that your leaders have spread amongst you to conceal you from the despicable state to which you have reached. It is saddening to tell to tell you that you are the worst civilization witnessed by the history of mankind. Okay. I feel this kind of cap though, because like the British Empire is pretty bad. And the US Empire is also bad, but like the British are just a little worse. Just a little.
Keep in mind that when Osama bin Laden calls us bad here, it's because of our debauchery, our homosexuality, and our loaning with interest. That's what he means when he's calling us like one of the worst, and our foreign policy as well. But
this got her in trouble due to these statements, so she got a slap on the wrist. Her ban only lasted one day, so good job, Twitch. Only a few months later, Denims would defend Hasan when he was getting shit on for his awful takes about how hard streaming is compared to normal jobs. She tweeted, "As someone who has worked 12-hour shifts with a 4-hour commute, while going to university full-time, streaming is easily the hardest job I've had. The post-stream social exhaustion is so real I don't even know how anyone could do it every day. Denims, you're a substitute for Hasan. You do nothing but yap for several hours and watch full episodes of TV shows on stream. I'm sure it's socially draining, but besides that, it's easy work. Your community makes the laziest content possible, yet yours somehow rivals XQC's and Hasan's in terms of brain rot. You literally play news footage for 40 minutes straight while your dumbass gets ready for a stream. This is flat out content theft, but it's normal to those on Twitch." In May of this year, some drama emerged when Froggy said this in response to Ludwig promoting a pro-Palestine fundraiser.
Because I think it is worthwhile. And if you guys got some extra bread, I would recommend you donate. But I won't throw it on you, you know what I mean? No thanks. And some people are going to say that, you know what I mean? That's why it's the difference.
This is a cracker take.
Between like, hey, I can put my money where my mouth is, but I don't need to put your money there. I don't need to enter a fucking debate about whether that's worthwhile.
Take. Thinking about it, like, think of the Twitch streamers that haven't said shit about Palestine. Think about the Twitch streamers that haven't, or like streamers in general. We're gonna go to YouTube as well. YouTube and Twitch streamers that haven't said shit about Palestine until engagement was threatened, you know? But the ones that got the most shit for talking about Palestine since October 7th have been me, Caroline, Hasan.
This take from her pissed a lot of people off, especially after she doubled down. So, many like Tectone from OTK began criticizing her and making fun of her weight.
Like, the only point of this is to farm outrage. Good God, fucking Jabba the Hutt just causing issues for no reason, man. Jesus Christ. Good God, fatty. Fucking going on the internet causing problems rather than going to fucking Total Gym. Get a fucking grip, you disgusting piece of shit.
Froggy began coping with the hate and couldn't handle it, so her buddies in the Poggers community came to help, that being Hasan, CaseyTron, and Denims. The latter posted, "Yet another male victim of divorce court. Send your thoughts and prayers everyone so that he may recover one day." This was picked apart quickly since the divorce in question occurred due to the wife cheating and posting revenge porn. Denims was never able to clap back from this, so she slowly stepped away from the drama. These are only a few of the bad takes she's had, so I want to delve deeper into some of the others she's had over the past year and a half. On November 20th, 2022, YouTuber Shuon had posted the following to Twitter. The brand, Balenciaga, just did a interesting photo shoot for their new products recently, which included a very purposely poorly hidden court document about virtual child porn. Normal stuff. She then got community noted, which instead of fact-checking her, proved that this is all real. Although Shu often makes comments to cause amusement or laughter, this is an authentic Balenciaga marketing photograph. It contains an excerpt from the US Supreme Court opinion in United States v. Williams, which upheld part of the federal child pornography law. This started a massive scandal for Balenciaga, as the other marketing photographs had children involved, one showing a little girl holding a teddy bear with bondage gear on. Most agreed with Shu, though a few breadtubers she was friends with strongly disagreed. Xanderhall and Demon Mama, who associate with Vosh's community, randomly brought up LGBTQ people into the discussion. This drama had nothing to do with queer people, but I guess because a shooting happened involving them in the same week, it suddenly means Shu was accusing them of being pedos. This was random as all hell, and it really seems like Xander and Demon Mama were defending pedophilia and using the LGBTQ community as a shield. Vosh didn't get involved in this discourse because he was probably too busy jerking off to these Balenciaga photos.
Of the kind of structure that I'm referring to.
Vosh would use a similar tactic when a special folder got leaked, saying that because many of his fans are transgender, that critics are calling them pedos alongside him.
I like the part where he said this is a pedophile community. Yeah, did he say that with regards to there being a lot of transgenders here? Is that what he meant? Curious.
She would end up making a video about all this drama, which Denims reacted to on a Twitch stream I was able to archive. Thank me later. Basically, Denims tries to downplay the entire situation to make Shoe on Head look bad, which involves some very weird arguments. First, she claims that this controversy is good for Balenciaga, since now they're getting talked about by big news outlets.
They spend so much money on marketing. Something like this is a dream for Balenciaga. Balenciaga being on Fox News, Balenciaga being on trending on Twitter for weeks, that is good for Balenciaga. Like, they don't care. I don't understand why people always have to go for the most insane conclusion when money is a good enough conclusion. Like, we have seen money corrupt industries. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure having this harmful stigma around your company isn't going to help them financially. Maybe if they were stirring up beef of another fashion brand, then sure. But this is not done on purpose, and even Balenciaga had to realize how creepy these photo shoots are.
I feel very uncomfortable making... I think that there is absolutely no difference between the people who say Jews control the world because there are a few Jewish people that have money. And they're like, but look at this. And wasn't it weird that these guys met up here? And wasn't this weird? I see no difference between that and this.
What is blood yapping about? This is such a bizarre deduction to make. It's not a conspiracy to say that some weird shit is going on at Balenciaga. There's proof out in the open.
Also, just so everyone knows, I am not suicidal, just in case news comes out that I was found with 3 designer bullets in the back of my head. And I don't think Brittany Venti is either, so if either of us, we do not have information that will lead
Dude, not
to
associating yourself with Brittany Venti, dude. Why do people... Oh my god, it's like the constant thing that I'm so confused about. The number of times I've had disagreements with other content creators because I just want to tell them stop associating yourself with the weirdest people on the planet. Stop doing it. No. Who's Brittany Venti? She's like a fucking right winger. Like an actual hardcore right winger.
Denims, we can make the same argument about you. I mean, you're publicly friends with Hasan, Froggy, Ethan is online, and Keffals of all people. In comparison, Shu being friends with Brittany means nothing.
Sean had on her way to once again use her massive platform to provide the neo-Nazis in her audience with fodder they can use to justify the murder of gay people, but this time...
I think this is actually very accurate. I think this is a tweet that kind of blew up, and I think that it's very accurate. I think she contributes... I think she genuinely believes that, it's sus that a company would do, a punk shoot or something. And I think she takes that and she runs with it a lot, which is very sad, you know?
I'm the day after another anti-gay terror attack. I'm sorry. Where are the gays? My post had absolutely nothing to do with LGBT.
Read the tweet, too. She didn't read it. No. That's not what they said. They didn't say that you yourself are bringing up gay people. She didn't say that. This person didn't say that you are asking for gay people to be shit on or whatever. The person tweeting this said, you did this thing knowingly when you know that conservatives will take this and they will use it as an opportunity to put pedophiles in the same group as gay people and find a reason to dehumanize gay people more.
Okay, at this point, it's not conservatives using this against gay people. That's you guys. You are the ones giving conservatives fodder, not Shu. Just the fact you're even bringing gay people up insinuates you think they're related to pedophilia. She's just weaponizing the LGBTQ community to dunk on someone she doesn't like.
My post had absolutely nothing to do with LGBT people. The Balenciaga thing in general had nothing to do with LGBT people. Where did this come from? This guy took a...
But they're not... The tweet wasn't saying that you're the one doing it. The tweet was saying that you are posting about Balenciaga gay when you don't have enough information that proves that there's a child sex ring or whatever, and you are explicitly not telling your audience how to feel. You're saying, isn't this weird? And you're letting them feel however they want to feel.
Okay, first of all, that's called letting your audience come to their own conclusion. Second of all, Shu clarified her opinion in the same video.
Do I think this is some kind of Pizzagate thing where Balenciaga's like hiding children in their basement. Do I think they are literally trafficking children? I don't think that. I don't know that. I've never claimed to know that. What I do know is that this is a huge fuck up from a billion-dollar company. If the issue they have with all of this is that I shouldn't be talking about this at a time where gay groomer rhetoric is popular, why aren't they mad at Balenciaga for doing an ad like this at the time the gay groomer thing is popular? Why?
Because fashion companies do weird shit all the time.
Ah yes, Denims. It's totally fine for a fashion brand to post a picture of a little girl holding a teddy bear in bondage. She's not exactly defending Balenciaga, but she's downplaying its severity.
You guys think this is BDSM gear? Do you think that this is also BDSM gear? You think this is BDSM gear?
Oh yeah, that's totally the same thing. Wow, Denims is so smart. She then brings up various strawman arguments which are pretty irrelevant here. Oh, you're talking about this bad thing? Why don't you talk about this other bad thing? It's just a distraction from this case. Earlier in the stream, Denims elaborates on the photo with the CP related document.
They probably did one of two things, chat, okay? They probably just printed out a bunch of law documents. You want to know why? Because they're not copyright based. You don't have to worry about getting your shit taken down, okay? And you want a bunch of official looking paperwork to make like the photograph like look good or whatever, okay? And the second thing is that you want to know what? There is a perfectly reasonable explanation.
Okay, but that just explains how they were able to do it, not why. Could they not pick any other court case? Why use a case arguing against CP? It's weird. Denims pretty much just piggybacked off the brain dead takes given by Vosh's community, which wasn't a good look for her then, and especially not a good look now.
Too.
The thing is, there are stuff you can criticize Shoe1Head for, but all of Denims' arguments are weak and come off as her being purposely ignorant. Last spring, there was a major drama between Froggy Fresh, Idubbbz, and his wife Anissa Jomha. Basically, Froggy was barred from Creator Clash 2, a charity boxing event the couple hosted in April 2023. This caused loads of controversy, as the reason why he was kicked wasn't fully known. It could have been the Twitter beef initiated by Anissa's mom, the joke he made saying he subscribed to Anissa's OnlyFans if he lost a Chris Ray gun, or him training with Sam Hyde. In a video made after the event, Idubbbz confirmed the latter was the reason why. However, recently on a secret Patreon exclusive podcast, the couple said it was actually due to Froggy missing training. This is not true according to Froggy, as the trainer they hired for him didn't even want to spar with him, so Froggy trained with other people. The two handled the situation very poorly, and instead of properly responding, they made this announcement that looks like it was written by ChatGPT. They also had various friends stick up for them publicly, one of whom being Denims. What needs to be understood is that Denims and Anissa are very publicly friends. They're on a podcast together with CaseyTron, and Denims was flown out by Anissa to Creator Clash 2. Here she got her pictures taken on the red carpet, got to attend various expensive parties, and got a free hotel room. These luxuries, which were afforded to other people, were seemingly the reason why the event lost $250,000. But yeah, Denims has massive bias when it comes to this situation. Now, I'm sure I'll get comments saying I'm biased towards Froggy and Sam, and you'd be correct. However, everyone has some level of bias here. My problem is that Denims' bias is massive, and she never brings up proper evidence for her points. On 2 different occasions, she attempted to smear Froggy as a full-blown Nazi, and her reasoning is pretty dumb. So first let's talk about this video on Denims' official YouTube channel called The Truth About Creator Clash 2, which came out before the event. It starts with her reacting to Sam Hyde's callout after he won a boxing match.
Call out in the heavyweight division. Oh, you know it, lad. You know that, Hasan Piker? I'm coming to kill you! In Los Angeles, at your house! Or in the ring? No, in real life. I'm going to stalk him and become obsessed with him, and wear his makeup, and his dresses, and use his skin as a coat, like the ancient Irish did. Well, that's your winner, Sam Hyde!
And I know what you guys are thinking. Well, I don't know this Sam Hyde guy. Maybe it's just a joke. Maybe he's just joking. Maybe it's not that big of a deal. Like, that's a pretty insane character to be throwing. He just finished a boxing fight. I don't know. I don't know how to tell you this. He's been saying for the longest time that it's all a joke and it's all just a funny meme. And it's really not. It's not. The dude is an unironic Nazi.
If you think this is anything but a joke, you're a retard. Full stop. Also, isn't this the same bitch who put a bounty on someone? Then Denim starts talking about Froggy Fresh.
From my understanding, Froggy Fresh was just a normal person, normal content creator. And over the past month, for some bizarre fucking reason, he has decided to be completely indoctrinated and convinced by Sam Hyde into just becoming like another like right-wing troll. No, he wasn't trained by Sam Hyde the whole time. This is a common misconception that Froggy was being trained by Sam Hyde. This isn't true. The people who host Creator Clash, Idubbbz, aka Ian, and Anissa, they are not fans of Sam Hyde. Sam Hyde has threatened them. Sam Hyde has doxed them. Sam Hyde has sent people to harass them. Idubbbz has a pretty good documentary on Sam Hyde, and they don't like him. And Sam Hyde has done nothing but just be a complete piece of shit and be a completely annoying piece of human garbage to them.
Okay, first of all, Froggy has always had some edge to him. He wasn't indoctrinated. He dislikes Sam Hyde's comedy. Second of all, how has Sam doxed them? There's no proof of this. Also, he didn't lead a targeted harassment campaign. He just occasionally shit-talked them on stream. Plus, Anissa began shit-talking him first. Oh, and here's the best part.
And he's just started posting, like, let me see if I can find it. He was just posting Nazi shit, okay? I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how else to explain it other than he was posting Nazi shit.
Do you have any actual evidence for that? Because all he did was retweet posts of him training with Sam. She acts like they were doing the Nazi salute in between sparring sessions while Hitler's speeches were playing in the background. This is her only evidence in claiming that Froggy is some sort of neo-Nazi who hates all Jewish people.
I'm kind of disappointed in Charlie for defending Froggy Fresh. Yeah, this was it. I disagree with this Charlie post. I'm really disappointed by this. Kicking him for Twitter controversy after months of training is brutal. I don't think any jokes he made were intended to be mean-spirited or shit on anyone. Hopefully they reconsider this decision. Froggy Fresh was literally spreading misinfo about the creators. This isn't like a matter of like, it was just a little internet joke. That's not what it was. Like, he was tweeting like things that aren't real. So the account isn't even here anymore. The tweet isn't even here. So I think Anissa had tweeted saying that there's a big announcement coming soon. And someone replied saying, hope it's about replacing the imp, which I think is talking about Froggy Fresh. And I don't think this was confirmed that this was like Anissa's mom. And then he starts like shitting on the creators of the fight. Better an imp than a simp. Shout out your boy Idubbbz. Anissa, come get your mom.
Yes, that was Anissa's mom. There's a Kotaku article from 2016 that mentions how involved she is in her daughter's internet drama. Her mom was harassing Froggy on Twitter, so he clapped back. If you don't want your fighters calling you a simp, then don't have your mother-in-law call one of your fighters an imp.
Just wanted to report on that event a little because I've seen a lot of people misrepresenting some of the stuff that happened. I just wanted to be clear that the details of the case are so insane and absurd, no one would ever put up with that. And the sad thing is, like, Charlie is doing the thing where he's only seeing it from the perspective of the fighter. But I think if he sat down and he actually looked at everything and he put himself in the creator's shoes, he wouldn't have put up with that shit either.
Okay, if you have all this info, then tell it. What's happening here is that Anissa gave Denims certain pieces of information so that she could defend the event. She expects everyone else to know why Froggy was kicked, but it was never officially mentioned. Denims knows it's because of Sam, but won't elaborate on it. The same thing happened with Alana Pierce and Harley Morenstein. This video was heavily criticized by viewers, with Froggy himself commenting, "You should consider actually getting your facts straight before you make such inflammatory accusations about people." Over a month later, Denims would stream her reaction to Idubbbz's Froggy Fresh video, where she doubles down.
But someone was saying, well, what about Harley? Harley from Epic Mealtime is still, he boxed, he continued to box. And the difference between Harley and Froggy Fresh is that, first of all, Harley was at one point trained by Sam, but that wasn't his current trainer. Second of all, Harley has been one of the only fighters, maybe one or two other fighters, that has publicly used their platform to stand up against Sam Hyde and against Froggy Fresh. Because Harley has had the time to take a step back and realize, oh, this Sam Hyde guy is a fucking maniac.
No, it's probably because Idubbbz was pressuring him too. If he stood up for Froggy and Sam, he would have been kicked too. Harley and Sam are still publicly friends. He still retweets and comments on Sam's Twitter posts and watches Fish Tank live.
this is really a lot of weird, tender, soft people. Creator Clash people are real, like, these type of people. You know what I mean?
Ableism!
How the fuck is that ableism? He's saying they're soft, not disabled. Denims then reads out the text messages between Ian and Froggy and interprets them as Froggy being an asshole. And while he was being apprehensive, Ian was being a snake here. Froggy keeps asking over and over again if Ian will kick him out from the event if he trains with Sam, and Idubbbz keeps responding with, I don't know, it depends. Froggy wants a yes or no answer and never gets it. It's very clearly Ian trying to gaslight Froggy into not working with Sam, instead of directly telling him like an event organizer should.
If you don't know who Sam Hyde is, he's, whether or not you love him or hate him, you have to recognize him as, he's the most talented comedian alive. He's the most talented comedian of our generation. He's gonna probably be the greatest comedian of all time. He's insanely...
Dude, get his cock out of your throat, man. For someone who likes to go around calling other people whores, you sure are whoring your fucking orifices out as Mr. Sam Hyde. Like, you can just take the cock out.
This is fair criticism to make. Froggy was definitely being a bit cringe with that statement. However, this coming from Denims is hilarious. Only 20 minutes earlier, she self-admittedly starts tipping over Anissa.
Also, I'm gonna go full simp mode. I don't care. She's not here. She can't see this. She can't see me simping on full throttle. But she recently beach blonde, like platinum blonde.
Something glass house, something throwing stones.
Yeah. But she recently changed her hair and it is IMO. I think it looks so good on her. It is not easy to pull off like white hair. And I think she does a really good job. I think she pulls it off really well.
The difference here being that Denims is sipping over a married woman, and Froggy is praising one of his idols. Denims was really reaching in these streams, with her main claims being that he's an ableist Nazi who lied about everything while not actually showing any good evidence for these points. The only decent point she makes is bringing up the alleged donation Sam gave to the Daily Stormers Defense Fund back in 2017, but she messes that up too. She initially claims he donated to Nick Fuentes, until being corrected. Also, I had to say this, but it's never been confirmed or denied if he donated to them. It could have easily been one of his fans, since they love to blame him for various travesties as a meme. Plus, if Sam was a Nazi, I don't think he'd be this publicly supportive of Brian from Fish Tank. It also doesn't prove that Froggy is a Nazi. Froggy just thinks Sam is funny. Not too long ago, both Willie Maxwell and Mutahar of Some Ordinary Gamers released hit pieces on Keffals that finally brought her various scandals into the public eye. These include her lying about the swatting, lying about which website doxed her, misappropriating $100,000 in GoFundMe money for streaming equipment and drugs, having creepy interactions with minors, promoting a site that sends homemade drugs to minors, with the box having a lolly on it, knowing about the grooming that occurred in her Discord server, and a lot more. These videos show loads of evidence, so much so that Keffals can properly dispute them. Instead, she just calls these guys transphobic, with no actual basis to it. She said Mutahar's thumbnail was transphobic, and that he used the wrong pronouns. He used her preferred pronouns, and the art in the thumbnail was drawn by Just a Worm, who draws everybody like that. I mean, this is pretty much just a trace over image of her with a few exaggerations. Keffals herself has used art from Just a Worm, so everybody clowned on her for this take. Besides Tipster and a few rabid fans, there's one person who's still very supportive of Keffals, Denims. These two have been friends for quite some time, with the two seemingly meeting up at TwitchCon 2022. During this event, Keffals will go up to Melina, threatening to get Destiny's YouTube channel banned. This is due to the fact that Destiny had been exposing her various lies in a manifesto, so Keffals became unhinged as usual.
Keffals went to go, and she went up to Melina, and she was shaking. Like, it was like she was so anxious or so angry she was shaking, right? And she said, "Tell your husband, if he doesn't stop coming for me, I'm going to get his YouTube channel deleted." No fucking memes. That happened, okay? I'm not shitting you. That happened yesterday at the partner party, okay? And then she walked off, and everyone was just kind of like, Jesus.
When Denims was told about this by somebody, this was her response.
Keffals walked up to Melina and said,
"Okay, here's $1."
She shook her hand and said, "I'm going to get your husband's channel deleted from YouTube if he doesn't want it."
Yeah. Especially
Chuck Logic did like a thing on it. It's on LSF right now. There's no, like, you can't film inside the partner party, so there's no video of it or anything.
God, she's such a giga chat.
I know, it's such a chat.
That is the most giga chat shit you can do.
She's such a giga chad. By the way, in case you didn't know, okay, Denims is literally, has become, Anna's chill now, okay? Anna's in the past, Denims is the new that. Like, every single time, I don't know if you guys know this, I have to keep reminding you of this. Every single time I have big drama with somebody, Denims is messaging them in the background, like offering support. It's like, oh my God, you got abused by Destiny too, blah, 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 blah. I don't know if you guys are aware of this now, but it happened in the last big drama that I was in. People message me like, do you know this person? Or like, oh shit, like this person just messaged me. It's like, well, I don't know, that's so fucking weird. Like Denims literally is DMing people in the background of every big drama, trying to like flip people over in her fucking weird sociopathic sex cult or whatever the fuck they do over there. It's actually insane.
On May 12, 2024, Denims booted up a livestream titled, Mutahar decides to be transphobic instead of get a personality. But before she comes on, she plays other people's videos for almost 2 hours. Straight up content theft. She starts off by talking about the recent Keffals drama, where she immediately tries to smear Mutahar as a transphobic bigot.
So, Mutahar made this video, he captioned this Twitter post, uploaded a new video regarding a serious fraud of an activist known as Keffals. Over an hour of deconstructing her various lies and examining her terrible lies will prove to you why she is a danger to people that they represent and those surrounding them. Okay, now, let's talk about a couple things. I'm only interested right now in talking about the thumbnail, okay? I'm only interested in talking about the thumbnail. Maybe we can watch some of the video. To be honest, the video itself, I don't care about. It's not relevant, it's not important. I only care about the thumbnail. For anyone who doesn't know, Keffals is a trans woman, and this is a very gross portrayal of someone who is a trans woman. This is like hitting all of the common stereotypes, like trying to make them as quote unquote gross looking as possible, or as manly as possible, or whatever. And you could even see in the replies to this post, there are people that are saying like, don't care, I'm still not gonna use his, referencing Keffals, real name or something like that, right? A bunch of people in the replies just being actively, openly transphobic.
Can you give us any examples of that? And even if there were people being transphobic, Muta isn't going to support these people. If you actually watch the video, you'll know that he condemns those type of people.
Anti-trans sentiment is banned on a lot of major platforms, and as a result, the site has become a place for those opinions to effectively congregate. Now again, I want to start off by saying I don't endorse or support that behavior. In fact, I outright condemn it, alright? There's no reason to have any form of hate on the internet. That being said, alright, whatever goes on the site does fall under free speech and is entirely legal, okay?
After yapping about leftism, Denims says this.
She's a grifter? I don't think she's a grifter. I think she's too opinionated to be a grifter. I think she says exactly what she means. There are people who give me grifter vibes. Keffals is not one of them. So if you dislike what she says, then you could just say like, I don't like what she says. But I don't think she's a grifter.
No, she is a grifter. She extorted $100,000 from supporters under the guise of sticking up for trans people, and then spent it on a nice trip to Europe and drugs. She uses the trans community to her own benefit.
I understand people have criticism of me. I don't think I am above being critiqued. That said, was it really necessary to use a transphobic caricature of me in the thumbnail while also not using my pronouns in the video announcement? Ryan Sear, and then I don't know what happened to Ryan Beard. I'm gonna be honest. Who was it that cooked him? Was it FD Signifier? Was it Gremlo? Or was it Sean? Someone cooked his ass, and it was like the 7th time or something that like Ryan was talking about Palestine, and it was saying like, you guys, these protesters, something. And then Sean was like, you've talked about Palestine this many times, and the only times you've talked about it in a positive light was telling people to go vote Biden.
Hey, why don't you actually address what he said to Keffals instead of getting off topic? He's literally proving that Mutahar wasn't being transphobic, but you ignore it because it completely dismantles the narrative you're trying to prove. And by the way, the tweet she's referring to is when Ryan criticized Noah Sampson for wanting to collaborate with Bad Empanada, a bread tuber who has harassed and doxed multiple different people over petty shit. Then Denims focuses on Just a Worm.
You can't just make the same joke at everybody, because that's not how society works. You can't just do that. Things don't exist in a vacuum. Just because you draw everyone with big, long noses, it doesn't mean it's okay to do it with a Jewish person. Yeah, or like with talking about eating my cat. hey, maybe I shouldn't make a cat eating joke around my Asian friends. Because chances are they probably already have to deal with lots of harassment and people saying that type of shit to them. Maybe I shouldn't encourage more of that behavior. You don't get to say, I do this to everyone, so it's okay that I'm doing it to you. And so, yeah, you draw, and notice, by the way, notice how all of these are dudes. I can't tell if this one, I don't know who this one is supposed to be, so it's hard to say, but notice how all these are dudes, by the way. You can't just be like, well, I draw all men ugly, so it's okay that I drew this woman ugly. Oh, wait, this one's Sniper Wolf. I noticed. I do this to everyone. I make all of my caricatures really ugly and nasty, so it's okay for me to do it to a trans person.
Notice how she ignores the drawing of her best friend, Anissa. This guy draws everybody equally, but she wants Keffals to be the exception because of her identity. Being trans isn't a shield from criticism and mockery. She barely elaborates on this point and basically says, drawing her this way is transphobic because I said so. Denims then tries to call Muta Nazi adjacent because Stone Toss retweeted the video.
If you're defending a position, take a look around on who else is defending the position with you, and then reevaluate. If the Nazis are in favor of this, I'm not, actually. I don't.
Because one person you don't like agrees with something, so it must be the worst thing ever. It's just very childish, and Denims never even watches the video.
His video is the first I have ever heard of Keffals. Is it not accurate? I haven't seen it, so I'm not claiming that it's accurate. I'm only talking about the thumbnail. I haven't even started. Whoa. Let's reel back. Let's stay on top. First, I want to talk about Mutahar and his very questionable thumbnail. And we can get into the details and everything in a second.
Well, that was a fucking lie. She never even pulls Muta's video up on YouTube. She just switches topics at discussing Ben Shapiro. Denims doesn't want to watch the video because she knows it'll be damning. Because in her mind, who cares if this person is horrible if they're her friend? I mean, she's friends with Hasan and all these other scummy streamers who only care about clout and money. She thinks sticking up for Keffals will make her look good in the eyes of her audience, but it instead made some of them question her. In my last video, I mentioned how many of these big streamers in the poggers community like Denims are very publicly supportive of adult content. I pointed out the hypocrisy in this, as these guys will extensively call out gambling and the misogyny of the manosphere, yet won't call out adult content under the same reasoning. They go for this whole think of the children argument, but don't give a shit about young kids getting porn addictions from OnlyFans models who advertise themselves on 12+ platforms like Twitch. I went more in detail on this in the last episode, with my main source of pointing out this hypocrisy being the previously mentioned podcasts of Anissa, Denims, and Casey Tron. In the same episode where they talk about how addictive gambling is, they also mention how people who call out adult content under the same reasoning are just prudes who probably watch Andrew Tate. They say this not to engage in any worthwhile discussions about the topic. Something I have yet to mention is that Denims also does OnlyFans, so she has a big incentive to defend this industry. Now to my knowledge, she doesn't post nudes, just lewd cosplay she posts to Instagram and Twitter for free. God, that's gotta be even lamer to buy. So her bias is pretty apparent, and that's led her to have some pretty awful takes on this subject, as she does with anything else she talks about. So late last year, Twitch changed the rules to allow artistic nudity, which they changed pretty quickly. They've always had a problem with young women showing way too much skin for a 12+ website, but this made it even worse. You had various degenerate ethos like Morgue Pie, Strawberry Tabby, and Fire Dancer self-censoring themselves to extreme extents. I mean, Tabby was straight up showing her asshole.
Behold, true gaming in its purest form. This is what streaming is all about. Now, the censoring on her butthole was done by me. I felt I had to, just to make sure that this video would be safe to be uploaded, but make no mistake, while live, it was not censored at all. This was the director's cut. Full-blown poop shoot action, barely covered by, like, the tiniest string of fabric.
Now, as you'll know by now, Denims was in support of this behavior, posting, "Do straight men even like women? Imagine seeing one of the most beautiful women alive and thinking, this is awful and I never want to see this again. Okay bro, more from me I guess. Good job at missing the point once again, Denims. Nobody's mad that we're seeing some tits. We just don't think that it's right that these women are doing it on a site filled with lots of young teenagers. The reason why these women do it is because regular porn sites are oversaturated, so they migrate to Twitch where this content won't belong. There they attract those younger viewers, as it's a much easier website to access. Twitch doesn't do much about it until they get mass backlash. Denims knows all this, but acts dumb so that can keep happening. She somewhat understands this point due to Vosh of all people, but still defends this stuff. About a month later, she'd react to Shoe1Head's video on the topic called The Twitch Thot Epidemic. That title alone probably pissed off Denims. She immediately starts with this insane logic.
But Twitch is a website for kids, advertised for users 12 and up, and predominantly used by young boys. And the question on everyone's mind is, are these evil Jezebels preying on today's youth, or are they simply—
Hold up. Use of Twitch by minors. The Twitch services are not available to persons under the age of 13. If you are between the ages of 13 and the age of a legal majority in your jurisdiction of residence, you may only use the Twitch services under the supervision of a parent or legal guardian who agrees to be bound by these terms of services.
Obviously, kids are going to lie about their age or go on there without their parents' permission. This isn't Club Penguin, and Denims knows it's not a good argument to make, so she continues.
But Denims, kids are gonna go on the internet anyways? Okay, do you wanna ban Pornhub too? Because that argument is fucking stupid. If you're gonna sit here and look me in the eyes and say, and goalpost, mind you, pearl clutch goalpost, well, the platform is for teenagers, it's for kids. Guess what? They literally say if you're a kid, you need parent supervision. Yeah, well, do you actually expect kids to ask for parent supervision? Okay, should we just nuke the internet of anything R-rated? Since kids are just gonna lie anyways? It's so stupid. It's just so dumb. Oh my God. No, everybody knows that kids will get on the internet and lie about being 18 on Twitch, but when they go to Pornhub, they don't lie about their age.
Kids are obviously going to find porn on the internet, but it shouldn't be this accessible on a 12+ platform. This stuff was pushed by the algorithm too. It wasn't hidden. It's not a porn issue, it's a Twitch issue.
Two things. One, seeing some shoulders isn't going to give your kid permanent trauma, you goddamn prudish motherfuckers. Alright? I promise you, your kids are not going to get traumatized seeing a bit of shoulder. Show me one clinical trial that has proven that kids will get permanently traumatized seeing above boob cleavage jiggling.
It wasn't just shoulders, they were showing off almost everything. Also, this softcore stuff could lead them to getting addicted when they seek out more. It's pretty widely known that early exposure to this stuff can negatively affect people's mental health.
Sorry that people want to purchase things that have sexy breasts on them. That's just what markets are like. I'm sorry. You're complaining about markets, but you're blaming it on women. Why not blame the thousands of people who watch these streams? You don't understand. They're just poor little teenage boys that are being taken advantage of. Oh yeah. Wait.
You answered your own question, but you couldn't find a way to debunk it, so you mocked it in an annoying voice. Now obviously you can't put some of the blame on the adults watching this stuff, but a lot of it is on these women. They're fucking everywhere on the internet. When I was conducting research for my Tinder documentary last year, these OF models were everywhere. They market themselves in an overbearing measure. Since it's a competitive market, most of these girls make like less than $200 a month. It's like a couple of hobos fighting over a moldy ham sandwich. These girls do some weird stuff to get attention, including doing their act in unintended spaces.
You used to have to go out of your way to see this stuff, and now it's everywhere. Now compare this to how I talked about this issue a few years ago, where I would make fun of people for complaining about— this is like walking into a strip club and being like, get your horny asses out of here. The difference is now everywhere is the strip club. It's to the point where even meme accounts on Twitter are being paid to discreetly advertise OnlyFans pages. And you can't even block the accounts that show up as ads on Twitter. Great website, Elon. 13+, by the way. And anyone who points this out is called a prude or a conservative. If you have an issue with naked women making softcore on a website full of children, you're the problem. How does the overall well-being of society affect you, bigot?
God, she's so mad, I love it. It's hard for her to shit on this because she was bashing Twitter for doing the same thing. This goes on for hours, with Denims coping and trying to find strawmans to mention. The most egregious is when she randomly brings up the Israel-Palestine conflict.
Don't get me wrong. I love breasts as much as the next one, as much as the next person, okay? I love them. All right? I don't want to be talking about that when I'm trying to talk about like fucking Israel-Palestine.
This stream was painful, man. I couldn't even get through the whole thing. I'll link it below for transparency's sake, but it's just her pausing the video every 5 seconds after getting mad at Shu for making a joke at the expensive OF models.
Sounds like you're just mad you can't manipulate a following in the same fashion. Granted, I don't condone it, but you're coming off as salty as a group of people found a loophole around the TOS and are abusing it. Frankly, these women should be praised for thinking outside the box and pandering to an audience that isn't oversaturated. You can't exactly criticize them for being smart enough to know which outlet has a higher chance of yielding income. What do you mean? It takes 2 seconds to take off my shirt. Literally any woman in the world can do this, but most don't because making on a website mostly populated by minors is gross and insane. Gonna be honest.
You have to be able to read anything and not give a fuck. Not care. Okay?
Can you tell she doesn't have any humility? She comes off as so salty in this stream, it's insane. She hates Shu on head because she knows she's right. Her only arguments are to downplay the situation, just like she did with the Balenciaga situation. But when it comes to people she hates, she's the least bit charitable. She labeled Froggy a Nazi and Mutahar a transphobe. And this starts to explain what my main problem with her is. My main problem with Denims is how blatant her bias is. Now everyone has some level of bias. Those who say they don't are lying. My issue with Denims is not only how massively biased she is towards her friends, but also how she never brings up substantial claims or evidence. She just yaps and expects her audience to parrot these same opinions. She surrounds herself with pretty terrible people, and then defends them by simply labeling the opposition as something harmful. Or she'll just take potshots at them and get corrected in the replies. She picks and chooses who she attacks, and doesn't get called out for it as much since she hides amongst larger communities. She's had a commensalistic relationship in both Vosh's and Hasan's community. She would have been a parasite in Destiny's community if she wasn't such a lying bimbo. She relies on bigger creators and sticks up for them for the sake of her own image and reputation. Though I find it strange that she's still defending Keffals, despite Vosh's community nuking itself due to AI-generated horse porn and lolly. It's probably her trying to appear as an ally despite how awful Keffals truly is for the trans community. Without these bigger creators hoisting her up, she'd just be another generic OF model, who would occasionally get into controversy. But since she's friends with such great people, she'll continue to dig her own grave until her relevancy fades. Thanks for watching. I want to once again thank Sensitive Society for making a cameo. I'll link his channel down below. If there's anybody you want me to cover in the next episode, comment down below. Bye.
I will suck the meat off your cock if you can get Richard Wolff to say that he didn't mean dividends when he said dividends.